Hello everyone, this is the great Lord and Master, Oseron the Eternal, or the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. This is part 3 to the Proof of God series, and the lighting in here is terrible, and I hope this comes out good. And I hope you can see what's going on here. See that? My freaking shadow? The lighting, I tell you. This here, I really hope you can see this. This here is the grid of numbers of 1 through 9, the times tables, you know, 9 all the way up to 9 times 9, the square grid, reduced to its lowest number. So every number is reduced to a single digit. And what it does is form a grid, a perfectly balanced grid, a mathematical grid that shows its holofractal nature. And if in the first series, excuse me a second, you really have to watch the first video and the second one to really know what's going on. But in the first video I explained what this chart is and how these patterns come to be. The whole thing is explained there. So you really need to watch that to understand what's going on here. And in the second video I explained how vortex math is actually a trinary, and it goes positive, negative, and then a third aspect which could be chi. That's how, you know, I think the video is something like Kundalini and chi explained mathematically, something like that. But this is the third part, because I figured this out shortly after making that video, and this is important enough to have its own video. It shouldn't be very long. So what happens when you apply that principle of 3, so positive, negative, then a third? What you get is this, and it shows up in the reduced mathematic structure. So you got 1, 2, 3 is a third, then 4, 5, which is another 1, 2, and then 6 is a third, and then 7, 8, and 9. So every third space is either a 3, 6, or a 9. Okay? And the same thing if you go down from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. on it goes. And the 3 tables, the 6 tables, and of course the 9 tables do something unique. And again, you need to watch the first video to fill in the blanks. But the 3, 6s, and 9s do something unique. They either form only a 3, 6, or a 9 ever. It's never any other number but that. And that's the same principle though. The 1 tables, the 2 tables, but the 3 tables revert to this unknown power. And it shows up in this grid. It forms a perfect structured grid. Now the amazing part of this is that when you reduce all the numbers to a single digit, in each of these spaces, the black numbers are everything but 3, 6, and 9. Okay? And inside each of these individual squares, there's 4 numbers. There's a total of 4 numbers. And all of those reduce to 9. And you see that over here. This is sort of everything added up. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. And the red line to represent the grid of 3, 6, and 9. Okay? And now you're going to notice, but why is that fucking off balance there? Like the bottom row and then the side row are all 9s. Well, that's not off balance. I'll get to that in a second. So the amazing thing is all these numbers in here reduce to 9. But it's also a mirror. So everything that's here, like this top row, you got a 4, a 1, and 2 2s. Well, this bottom corner is the exact opposite mirror of that. You got 4, 2 2s, and a 1 right there. Same thing. This is a mirror of that. This is a mirror of that. This is a mirror of that. In the middle shows the nature of the mirror too. 7, 2, then 2, 7. You know what I mean? It's a complete mirror of everything else. And then everything in the middle reduces to the 9s. But what's even more amazing, now this forms one unit comprised of 9 units. But what the amazing part of this is, on the bottom and on the right side, you have a wall of 9s and a wall of 9s, but on the top and the left is nothing. Okay? What that allows to happen is this is a single unit that can plug into another unit just like it. Okay? So, and when it does, when this plugs into another unit just like it, it fits seamlessly. So if you have 4 units here, let me get this. If you have 4 units put together here, based on this, I'll show it like this. Okay, that's one edge of the unit. Can you even see that? I hope so. When you combine them together, it completes the square. So this moves into another one, which would be represented like this. Like that, you know, it goes up like that. And then what you get is a seamless web of pieces that fit together and form an infinite chain of squares of 9. And again, you need to watch the first video to understand the power and the importance of what 9 represents. This is amazing. This is amazing, and I needed to add this. I needed to add this to illustrate the holofractal nature of existence. I mean, basically this is telling you, this would be similar to the cube sphere model of Walter Russell. And this 9 essentially forms an impenetrable barrier that can't be crossed. So one whole unit, as it plugs into other units, forms a square. But each individual center is sort of like a what would be considered, what's the word? I'm forming a blank. Not fractal. I'm trying to think. I can't even think of the name of it. But, you know, other parallel universes. It's sort of like the concept of parallel universes. Each one of these squares is a universe unto itself, complete into itself, and there's this barrier that can't be crossed, and it's an energetic matrix of 3, 6, or 9. Now that could simply be polarity too. You know, you got 3 and 6 oscillating from positive to negative, so this could be an energetic oscillation, constant flux, you know, positive, negative, and it still corresponds to the 3, to the trinary aspect. Positive, negative, and then completeness. Positive, negative, completeness. Positive, negative, or you could say positive, negative, androgyne. Positive, negative, androgyne. You know what I mean? Or good, evil, completeness, or whatever it is. Positive, negative, completeness. Whatever analogy you want to use. But each individual space here is a universe unto itself. I really hope you can see this. I'll probably take the camera off the tripod and get a close-up on it, just so you can really see what's going on, because you really need to see this. I mean, you can even draw it out yourself on paper. You know, draw the 9s tables, reduce it to the single digit, and you'll see the matrix. You'll see the matrix at work. But this is amazing. I mean, and this goes along with the veil of insanity app concept I talk about all the time, especially when tripping. I mean, tripping, I can't tell you how many times I've been to a place where I couldn't even understand what the fuck was going on. It was just too much for my human understandings to comprehend on a conscious level. And I call that the veil of insanity, because you can't cross that. Once you hit that, it's like your mind just can't comprehend what it's experiencing. And so to our conscious human mind, we can't understand that level of fucking being. It's just beyond us. It just will appear to be gibberish. It'll appear to be pure insanity. Now, you can argue that somewhere on a subconscious level you may understand it, or at least retain what you see there, and then later on you can access that. And I'm perfectly fine with that notion, you know. Because, you know, those trips that I've gone on, especially the last one, it was just complete insanity. But So this is it. This is showing you that inside this matrix, this grid of 3, 6, and 9, is individual complete universes unto themselves. And you could even say that it's the material world represented through purposeful imbalance. Meaning, now if you assign a value to the elements, you know, earth, air, fire, and water, you know, the pentagram, the tetragrammaton, just for the sake of this argument, you could say 1 would have a value of water, so in this place emotion is weak. 4 could be fire, so in this place, you know, fire will is very high. And then earth and intellectual mind are balanced with the 2s. It could be anything you want it to be, but in this particular universe, that's the imbalance. Now on this one, it's different. It's 8, 1, 4, 5, and then you could assign the values in that manner. You know, earth could be what, you know, you have to play with that to see how that plays out. But this is a mirror of that, this is a mirror of that, a mirror of that, and it's balanced in the middle with its 7-2 aspects. But so that's great. Let me just get a close up of this for you so you can see what it is. You know, I apologize for the lighting. It's, you know, terrible. But let me excuse the madness here for a second. See, you see that? And it's probably backwards too for you. I apologize. But you see how it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. And there's a grid. And then you got that, doing that. I hope this shows up on camera, but thank you for watching and listening to this, and I hope it comes out good.